For 5 seasons, Jake Peavy pitched on Chicago's South Side. During his time with the White Sox, Peavy went 5-3 against their crosstown rival, the Cubs. Tonight, Peavy returns to the ivy-covered walls of Wrigley Field as a Giant. Peavy's been at his best lately, and the Giants need a big-time effort in Game 2 of the series, and it's coming up next.
Another warm night here at the corner of Sheffield and Waveland Avenue as we get ready for Giants baseball. This is Game 2 of this 3-game series. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. Giants got good news. Their appeal was upheld, and we'll talk about that throughout the game. But right now, Mike, I want to focus more on Jake Peavy. And look, he faced the Cubs a number of times wearing a White Sox uniform, and he's always pitched pretty well.
Well, 5-3 as a White Sox pitcher, 7-5 lifetime with a new ERA of 2.78. So he knows this environment. He has pitched well here in Wrigley Field. But I also believe that the Giants get a big shot in the arm and a huge extra bounce in their step once the decision came down that they're going to have an opportunity to complete last night's ball game tomorrow. So, you know, all is good here. I mean, the Giants still haven't got a decision on their road trip, trying to gather some momentum as they head into Washington. But hey, all is good in Giantsville right now, and hopefully they can take advantage of this momentum and win this game tonight.
My partner's happy, and in a lot of ways that's all that matters. All right, when we come back, we will have the lineups and the first pitch right after this.
Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Right now at Jack in the Box, try Jack's Spicy Chicken Club Combo for just $4.99 plus tax. And by Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places.
Here at Wrigley Field, the Cubs have taken the field, and let's take a look at our game time weather, and it's presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open every day. 85 degrees here at the yard. It is winds at 13 miles per hour, humidity at 53%, and it is overcast. All right, let's take a look at the Giants lineup. Minus Buster Posey, who's nursing a hip problem. It'll be Pagan, Pence, and Sandoval. Good numbers for Sandoval against Edwin Jackson. Morris Panic. Welcome back, Joe Panic. And then it's Ishikawa. Ish is going to hit in the 6th slot, followed by Susac, Crawford, and Peavy.
On the hill tonight for the Cubs will be the 30-year-old right-hander, Edwin Jackson. Jackson in his 9th year at the big league level. 25 starts, he's 6-13 with a 5.74 ERA. Good number of strikeouts, 136 innings. He's got 121 strikeouts against 59 walks. A lot of hits, however. That's a lot of base runners in 136 and a third. The way he goes at you is a low to mid-90s fastball. He will cut it. Big curveball with a high 3/4 release. You're going to see a 12-6 break. If he gets that pitch over, he's going to be tough. That is kind of the X factor in his repertoire of pitches. The slider, changeup, he'll also feature those. But the curveball is his key. Let's take a look at the defense the Cubs will employ tonight behind Jackson. It'll be Coughlin, Alcantara, and Sweeney. That is your outfield. Baez, Valbuena on the left side of the infield. Valleca and Rizzo on the right side. John Baker will be in the squad, putting down the sides. Starlin Castro had to lead the lineup today, who was originally in the lineup because of a family matter. Baez goes to short.
And the first pitch of the ball game is a called strike. So we get started at 7:07. So Pagan, good numbers lifetime against Jackson. He's 6 for 9. And he fouls this one back. It's 0-2. Pagan right now over 300. 302, 3 home runs, 22 driven in. Had a couple of hits in the game last night. And he takes this one in the dirt, blocked nicely by Baker. So erase the loss out of the standings for the Giants. They come in at 65 and 58. They're 33 and 26 on the road. Here's the pitch. And a base hit into right field for Pagan. So Pagan continues his ownage. Right now the Giants 4 games back, and that's the half a game due to the Dodgers winning last night, and the Giants due to complete last night's game tomorrow. And in the wild card spot, Giants still own that one spot. But right now the Atlanta Braves are red hot. So here's Pence. And Pence takes a strike. 3 for 15 against Jackson. A couple of doubles. With Pablo Sandoval on deck. So the lineup definitely a little different without Buster Posey. And that fastball is inside. We're going to first look at Toby Basner, the home plate umpire. DeMuro, Estabrook, and Wendelstad from first to third. And there's young Toby Basner.
Tell you one thing, he's in shape.
Was always under the impression that maybe the first rule of thumb for an umpire is that you should shave. You should be able to shave. This guy hasn't shaved yet.
He definitely is young.
All he does in the mornings is he washes his face. That's it. And Pence fouls it out of play. It's 1-2.
I mean, we have not seen this many new umpires since the last umpire strike. And Toby Basner, we've heard good things about his strike zone. Our first look at him tonight.
See, look, Hunter shaved. Or maybe he didn't, but at least he had the option to.
Yeah, Hunter Wendell said, hey, he's got the look of an umpire.
Pagan thought about it, but I don't think he had a good angle to see where that ball was rolling. It's 2-2.
It's a nice play by John Baker.
Yeah, it is.
John Baker, an outstanding blocker, and he proves it right here. That was a scud out in front of home plate. So, John Baker, who went to Cal, always had a great reputation about defense, even when he was playing in the Pac-10. Just proved it.
Pagan had a lean, and he gets back.
John Baker never played the Pac-12. He was a Pac-10 guy.
Pagan goes. This is driven to right, and it's a base hit. Pagan never stopped, and in doing so, it's going to be first and third with nobody out.
It's a good sign. We'll make it our forward right choice. And why not? You see Hunter Pence starting to go to right field. He's getting control of that bat head. Jackson gives him a good pitch to hit, a belt high challenge. And Hunter Pence takes it the other way. And Angel Pagan, who was on the move, saw early on that this ball was going to be a base hit. There's the peak. He goes right. Now all of a sudden it's pick up your third base coach. And just like that, the Rabbits have set the table.
And here's the guy that does have some good ownage on Jackson, and that's Pablo Sandoval. 8 for 15 in his career with a couple of doubles and a home run. Michael Morse on deck. And a big swing and a foul back, not wasting any time. Outfield pretty much straight away for Sandoval. Off the line at third is Valbuena. Sandoval hammers one left center field. Scoring easily is going to be Pagan, and the Giants take the lead.
Nice at bat. Identify the situation. They needed a fly ball. That beat a pretty good pitch too.
So here's Morse with one out now and Pence aboard at first. Morse with 16 home runs. He's tied with Pence for the lead on this Giants team, and here he takes one just off the plate. First inning runs. Seems like it follows Edwin Jackson around.
Well, he's a guy like a lot of pitchers. I mean, they just are vulnerable early in the game until they get a rhythm. And I think the higher the release, the longer it takes you to find a rhythm.
Huh.
If I'm Michael Morse, I gotta think about as to why the guy's throwing behind me. I know there's inside, and then there's this. If you're going to try and drill a guy, you're going to throw behind him. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. And it was Rizzo who winds up making the play on the ball from first base.
It looked like Jackson, look, it could be a ploy, whatever. But he did look down at his back foot as if he spike caught or as if he slipped. None of that makes much of a difference to Michael Morse. Well pitch.
I'm going with pass ball on that one. The catcher should have had it. Yeah, that's about as wild as a wild pitch could be right there. comes out and tries to paint him in the outside corner at 94. I mean, big league, that's a rough league. I mean, it's a mistake. I don't think he was trying to hit him, but it sure set up the outside corner. Throw a ball behind a guy at 93, you're going to buy some outside corner.
And the walk. And here's Joe Panik. Panik just a couple of days ago dislocated his pinky on his left hand and sore the next day, sore yesterday, but he did get his work in, and here he is back in the lineup. Good for Joe Panik.
Crossed his path today in the clubhouse, and I held my hand up with 5 fingers as if to say, fifth, you're batting fifth, and he flexed both arms as if to say, yeah, I'm Spartacus.
Pence goes, and he's going to make it. How about that?
Jackson completely went to sleep. I mean, you talk about a jump and a half right there. I mean, Jackson could be anywhere between 1.15 seconds with his unload time or 1.8, depending on how deliberate he wants to be. Clearly, he wasn't thinking about Hunter Pence. Nice heads-up play to take advantage of it.
Well, it makes this a different inning right now. Giants at the corners. And Panik with a base hit into left center field. Morris is going to head to third, and he'll make it. And the throw is wide to second. Panik with an RBI single, and it's 2-0 Giants.
Once again, we see Panik going to the left side of second base. That has been a strength of his opposite field ability ever since he showed up at big league doorstep. Not a lot of hand load, very quick to get the bat head to the ball. Just a compact swing that stays in that strike zone a long time. And there's the opposite field approach. And now you see why Bruce Bochy is so excited about this kid.
Hitting fifth. Here's Ishikawa. Three for 9 in his career against Edwin Jackson. And a strike, and it's 0-1 with Andrew Susak on deck. Not quite as good a crowd tonight as last night, but still a pretty good crowd. A lot of Giants fans here. Swing and a miss.
Well, Wrigley Field is a lot like AT&T in a way that there's a lot of little local pubs across the street. It takes a while to fill up the ballpark. Usually takes about an inning to get all your crowd in.
Oh, so you still think they're inside?
Yeah.
Okay. Ishikawa needs to put the ball in play, and he'll foul this one up against the tarp, and it remains 0-2.
I think there's a lot of people across the street at the Cubby Bear or Rays bleachers that they're powering down the last beer, and then they're going to head over. Or head to the rooftops.
Down the left field line, and a fair ball. Morris is going to score. Panik's on the move. Coughlin digs it out, and they're going to wave in Panik. He's going to score. Ishikawa knocks them both in. And put the ball in play is indeed what he did.
Just another nice opposite field approach. Kind of taking what Jackson's given him. And Chris Bosio, the pitching coach for the Cubs, going to come out and try and bring some calm between the ears of Edwin Jackson. We talk about it. Last night, this team faced adversity. And adversity in the month of August oftentimes can wind up being your friend because it can bring everybody together. You never know how they're going to react because of the adversity. Very clear early on in this ball game, it's been a positive, and for the first time in 24 hours, we're seeing smiles from Bruce Bochy.
So here's Susac. Susac hitting .250. He's got 5 RBIs. And he takes a strike on the outside corner. Four hits in the inning for the Giants and a walk.
Susac definitely getting to the comfort zone as a hitter. So that's much more relaxed than when he first came up. Time now for our Nissan keys to the game, and we think one of the keys tonight is first time through the lineup. And boy, wouldn't you know it, they put a four spot on the board so far here in the first. And number 2, Peavy versus Valbuena. Valbuena has hit him well, and how he handles him will have a lot to do with the outcome of this game. And those are our Nissan keys to the game.
And Susac takes a close pitch. It's 1-2.
It's a muggy night, very warm. On a night like tonight, a starting pitcher will lose between 3 or 5 pounds.
So Jackson really struggling here in the first. And with the game being completed, the game tomorrow, I'm just wondering if Rick Renteria now has to be a little bit concerned about making sure Jackson gives him some innings because of what's happening tomorrow.
Well, you make a good point. There's no activity in the Cubs bullpen.
Big swing by Susac.
Now the Cubs have an extra guy in their pen. They've got an 8-man bullpen. They only have 4 extra guys on the bench. And it looks like, as we're speaking right now, Carlos Villanueva is starting to get up and start tossing.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And Susac, they're going to say went around. At least Toby Basner said he went around. 2 outs, and now it's Crawford. So here's Crawford. Crawford at 227. Even with that low average, he still has 49 RBIs, which is a good number. And Jake Peavy is going to get a chance to hit in the first inning.
That's always a good sign.
And Peavy's 0 for 8.
I never thought they should count these pitches in the pitch count.
I agree. If you're going to count these, count throws over to first.
That's right.
Seriously.
Count the pitches between innings.
So here's Peavy. He will hit with Ishikawa at second and Crawford at first. Right now, Jackson just trying to get his team off the field. And the pitch to Peavy. And Peavy going, you know what? It's Wrigley Field. I'm going to go for one.
Well, you don't see pitchers often take the yuckadoo hack in the first swing of an at bat. He was totally bailing. I mean, he's a middle in hitter right now.
And he got a pitch middle in, and he put a good swing on it, and Sweeney's going to catch it to end the inning. For the Giants, 4 runs. On 4 hits, they leave 2. The Cubs are coming up. It'll be Coghlan, Baez, and then Anthony Rizzo, and you can see Rizzo. Yeah, he hits the Giants pretty well. Followed by Valbuena, Sweetie, and Alcantara. Followed by Chris Valleca, and then John Baker and Edwin Jackson.
On the hill tonight for the Giants will be the 33-year-old right-hander Jake Peavy, making start number 5 for the Giants. Peavy has gone 1-3 with a 3.86 in his 4 starts with the Giants on the year. 2-12. Finally broke the 12-game losing streak where he just could not get runs. Pitching well. But anyway, those days are all over. When he's right, you're going to see a low 90s fastball. He's got cut. He's got sink. He'll give you a curveball slider and a great changeup combination off the fastball. Out of the windup, he'll work a quick pace. He'll slow things down when he gets in the stretch. Lifetime against these Cubs, 7-5 with a 2.78 ERA. And at Wrigley Field, lifetime 3-3. Let's take a look at the defense playing behind Peavy. Starting the Giants outfield from left to right. You'll see Morse, Pagan, and Pence, all good arms. Crawford and Sandoval on the left side. Panic and Ishikawa on the right side. And Andrew Susak will be in the squad, putting down the signs.
And Coghlan's going to take a called strike on a fastball. Coghlan having a nice year, hitting .274. Sandoval is in at third. He does have 3 hits and 6 lifetime at bats against Jake Peavy, and the 0-1 pitch is a breaking ball that misses. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Javi hit it here. And the guy protecting, probably Grandpa, a left-hander. Got his glove on. I don't know about tucking in your shirt, though. Kind of looks like,
you know, if you're that age and you don't have a boiler, I think you should do that.
It's an old player, I know that much. Outfielder, maybe a pitcher.
Coghlan with a pretty good swing at a high fastball. It remains 1-2.
Cubs today without Starlin Castro, their starting shortstop, had to leave Wrigley Field because of a family matter. We don't know if it's going to be a 1-day or 2-day absence.
And this is a line drive into center field, a base hit. So Coghlan opens up the bottom of the first with a hit, and here's Javier Baez.
That was not a hanger either. Pretty nice piece of hitting going back up the middle.
Baez hitting at .230. He's got 5 home runs, 9 driven in. He is a swing and miss guy. You do have to be careful with him. He takes really a healthy rip. He's struck out 25 times in 61 at bats. And the first fastball is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Maybe a cutter.
Cutter, 86 mile an hour. That's a pitch that Peavy didn't even have when he got to the big league. That's something he learned at this level.
On the ground to Sandoval. Sandoval to Panic. Panic to Ishikawa. Got him.
You talk about using a base to protect yourself. Well, what exactly does that mean?
Well, if you got a strong arm, and Panic does, he can take this ball and just stand behind the bag, and if the base runner is going to get him, he's got to go through the bag. The only thing that it's kind of a good tester for Panic, because when you have to catch that ball with your glove opened up like that, that does expose that little finger. And Rizzo lifts this one out to Panic on the mound, and he makes the catch right up against that sidewall, and that's going to end the inning. Panic's all over the place.
I love that.
Giants 4, Cubs nothing. manager Bruce Bochy, and this came after a long, long night at the yard. And last night, cutting his post-game session with the reporters, he cut it short by saying, "You know what? I'm done." And I think he was done at about midnight, and this was about 2 when he said that. Here's Pagan, who takes down low. Yeah, he was tired of talking about it, tired of thinking about it, tired of worrying about it. So I believe it was like the 4th question in, and he said, "I've had it." Pagan opened up the game with a base hit. He eventually scored.
The Giants left the ballpark last night. They're pretty disgusted. I mean, you talk about a downtrodden group and a quiet bus back to the hotel, as you can imagine.
Yeah, Ryan Vogelsong walked out of here thinking he had a loss. Now the Giants haven't won anything, but they will get an opportunity to win the game. That's all they really wanted. The 2-1 pitch. Pagan skies it out into center field. And Alcantara makes the catch.
Well, Friday, August 29th is Wine Fest presented by Loca, the wines of Lodi, California. Your special event package includes access to the pregame Wine Fest, complimentary taste to the many wineries of the Lodi region, a limited edition Giants wine bag, and a game ticket to see the Giants take on the Brewers. If you're interested, go to sfgiants.com/special events.
Here's Pence. Pence with a base hit in the first inning. Look out. It was a breaking ball that never broke, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. It'll still scare you.
It can't be a comfortable at bat right now if you're hitting right-handed off Edwin Jackson, the one he threw behind Michael Morse last inning. That's the one that just got thrown over Pence's head. As I've said, I mean, that's an off-speed pitch, certainly not a pitch with any intent. I mean, right now, Edwin Jackson's a joy to catch. If you're John Baker, you don't know where it's going. He's throwing scuds with fastballs, throwing behind guys.
On the ground to Baez. Pence is retired, 2 outs. Talking about the game that was upheld and will be finished tomorrow. These are the last upheld protests. And the last one, of course, was in June. And we've talked a lot about that in 1986. And then in 83, remember, that was the Pine Tar George Brett game. 79, 75, and the first one was 1971. I just said that.
Well, it happens once every 28 years.
Yes.
And this is the first time it's happened with Bud Selig as the commissioner.
Sandoval out in front. Pre-game live is going to start tomorrow. We'll have both of the games. So join us right here at Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area at 1:30. Sandoval on the ground sharply to the second baseman. And Valaika makes the throw, and that'll end the inning. Bottom of the second coming up.
Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by When the Game Stands Tall, in theaters August 22nd.
Giants for the 4th spot in the 1st inning. And here it's the Cubs sending Valbuena, Sweeney, and then Alcantara to the plate here in the 2nd. And a strike call at the knees to Valbuena. 6 for 15 against Peavy. A couple of doubles. Sandoval off the line at 3rd. Everybody else pretty much straight away as Valbuena steps out of the box. And the pitch is wide. 1 ball and 1 strike. Off the glove of Susac. Other than the rain that came through here yesterday right around noon, and then of course that 15 to 20 minute storm last night, the weather's been fantastic.
Well, it really is a break.
A little humid, but still.
When you come into this neck of the woods this time of year, you could get mid-90s with tons of humidity. This really is ideal. And I think the biggest concern you have when you come east this time of year is for your starting pitcher or your catcher, because they're the ones that lose the most body weight during a performance.
This is hooked down the right field line, and it's a fair ball. Valbuena now is thinking about 3. Panik's throw is offline, and it'll be a triple. We lost Hunter Pence, so no idea if it got caught up down there with the vines. But Valbuena stretches it from a double to a triple.
Down and in, and you talk about ownage is ownage. He had a 6 for 15 lifetime, hitting 400 against Peavy. And here, once it gets down that corner, I mean, you're going to have to go over there and dig it out. And with good speed like Valbuena has, an easy 3-bagger. He sees Peavy well, and he just proved it again.
Here's Sweeney. Sweeney takes high and wide. 260. 3 home runs, 20 driven in.
Giants are giving up that run in the infield. They're playing their middle infielders back.
This is fouled out of play.
You see Crawford and Panik at short and second, how deep they're playing. Ishikawa backed up on first base side, so Giants clearly trying to stay out of the big inning here.
See the outfield, that's as straight away as you're going to get, especially Pagan. Ishikawa's got it. So Sweeney did everything right, and he comes up empty. And that'll bring up Alcantara.
Right now, Peavy not fooling anybody. This is down and in. He tries to go front door with the sink. Sweeney just drops the head, and right there is Travis Ishikawa. Didn't have to go too high or too far. He didn't have a lot of range with that P.
Here's Alcantara hitting .212, 3 home runs, 12 driven in. Swing and a miss. He can do a lot of things. Runs well. Sandoval believes that he's a pretty good bunter.
I'll tell you how good of an athlete he was, and he was playing second base till Baez showed up, and all of a sudden they said, whoop, put him out in the outfield, make him a center fielder, and he could play.
Well, Peavy now pitching for the strikeout, and he's got him 0-2. This is classic veteran against kid.
Peavy could go down the dirt again, or he could elevate up above the Cubs patch on his chest. And if they think Alcantara will chase, and they don't have to throw a strike here. Pressure on Susac to block. And Susak is an outstanding blocker.
And a waste pitch, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, I think that was just to cleanse the palate of the eye. He's seen 2 curveballs down below the zone. Let him look at a different speed away and then go right back down there again. Now, he could bounce a curveball here, or he could go above the hands of the fastball. Both good pitches. Peavy wants the fastball, and he's set up away. And that was not the fastball. That looked like a hard slider.
So Peavy off the back of the mound. He goes to the rosin. Rosin's pretty important this time of year.
Well, sweat running down your arm and rosin, that's a good mixture. Give you a nice tacky feel in your hand, give you a good grip.
Got him.
So Didi goes back down with another break ball below the zone, gets him to chase. So, I mean, why not? I know it's a 4-0 ball game. You will give up an out to get a run this early in the game, but
don't you think this is where he wanted to go?
Absolutely.
To get him?
You got 2 strikes that way. Why not try and finish him out? And if you've got good stuff, pitch for the strikeout.
Here's Chris Valleca. Valleca at 172.
So far with Toby Basner, we haven't seen big corners down around the knees, but it's been a pretty steady zone. He's been pretty accurate with his balls and strikes.
And that's fouled off the backstop.
You know, some umpires will start off tight. Once they see that you're going to be throwing strikes, they'll kind of grow with the zones. You get a little more width on both sides of the plate. Other umpires early in the game, they'll give you a bigger zone just to keep the game flowing, and it'll tighten up as the game wears on. Basner's a little tight right now, but it's a good zone.
Right at the belt buckle. 2 balls and 1 strike.
We haven't seen any hitters rubberneck on any calls on corners. We haven't seen any pitchers walk off the mound and give them stank eye stare. So I think all in all, early on this ball game, Basner has established a nice strike zone.
He comes back in again and misses. It's 3-1. On deck is John Baker. And a strike, 2-2, or make it 3-2.
Pitch your game. I know it's a 4-0 ball game. Valleca's thinking, dude, I'm hitting 172. You got a 4-0 lead, and you're throwing breaking balls in a 3-1 count. Killing me here. But if you're Peavy, you got to pitch your game. That's how he gets people out.
And Valleca stays alive as he lifts a souvenir to our right.
Giants are not showing Valleca a lot of respect depth-wise in the outfield. They've got Angel Pagan played in about 6 steps. It's a shallow center field.
Three and 2. Hit well to left. Morris back, gone. And it's a 4-2 ball game. And that's the first home run for Valleca.
Comes back at him with a 3-2 slider. On the outside corner, I mean, you talk about taking a guy's lower body out. I mean, really, this is all hands. He kind of leans out on his front foot, but still keeps the bat head back. And that right there gives you an idea how live this ballpark is. That ball jumped out of here.
And here's Baker.
I mean, watch the lower body slide forward. And he just kind of reaching, and that's a home run swing. It is tonight, folks. When the wind blows out of Wrigley, it's anything goes.
Combined with a hot temperature. Well, everybody knows the deal now. Baker takes high. It's 3-0.
I guarantee you that rattled Peavy. He thought he made a pretty good pitch on a 3-2 count. He takes a guy's lower body out like that. You give up a 2-run homer. Wow.
And a strike to Baker. Baker hits a flare to left, and this is going to fall. So that's going to get Edwin Jackson to the plate here in the second inning. Jackson is 6 for 39 on the season.
He is absolutely a guy you have to be careful with. Loves the first pitch too. He will hack.
Base hit. Morris gets to it. And just as you said, jumps on that first pitch. And now it becomes a bit more stressful with the leadoff hitter coming up in Chris Coghlan.
Boy, Peavy's rolling along. He's one strike away from pitching through a leadoff triple. And all of a sudden you have a 2-run homer, then bang, bang, 2 back-to-back clean singles. And this has become a major stress inning.
Coghlan singled to open up the bottom of the first. And here he takes down low, blocked by Susac. And now Susac's going to go out and have a word.
Making sure they get the right signs with the runner at second base. I really believe that 3-2 slider that Valleca hit over the fence for a 2-run homer completely took the concentration away from Peavy. And he's got to get it back.
And Coghlan with a big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
You see how flat Coglan's swing is, and he's always been susceptible to that breaking ball down and in if you've got some tilt to it. He's not bad on a flatter slider, but this is a curveball, and you see him swing right over the top. I definitely think if this at bat goes into a 2-strike situation, you'll see him go back to that zone, same pitch. One thing about Coghlan, Peavy knows him. He's pitched to him before. He didn't know anything about Baez other than what he saw in his first at bat tonight. Bottom line is he wants this inning to end now. He does not want to extend it to a guy he doesn't know much about.
And the foul at home plate is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Peavy snaps the ball back from Andrew Susac. He's a guy that's very animated on the mound. He'll talk to himself. He definitely is not afraid to show his emotions.
Close. Tried to front door him with two-seam action. He clearly wanted this pitch. Just a little, I don't know if he called it high or inside. Something wasn't right in the eye of Toby Basner, the plate umpire.
Runners will be on the move with 2 outs. He got him on a pitch in the dirt, and that'll end the inning. Big out. Cubs, however, do put 2 on the board, and it's Chris Valleca as he reaches out and lifts it into the bleachers in left. 4-2 Giants.
Net Bay Area is brought to you by Supercuts. Rock the cut.
Here at Wrigley Field, great view. It's a 4-2 lead for the Giants. It'll be Morse, Panic, and Ishikawa facing Edwin Jackson, who settled down in the second after a rough first.
I guarantee there's 2 things they're talking about in that clubhouse. One, the liveliness of Wrigley Field, and Toby Basner's strike zone.
So here's Morse, who drew a walk and scored. And he breaks down on an off-speed pitch, and it's no balls and 1 strike.
That's a good curveball. We said that's the X factor for Jackson. If he settles in with that curveball, it makes everything else look better.
Fastball outside, Panic on deck, and then Ishikawa. Giants will try hard now to get those runs back.
Now, one thing about Wrigley Field, when the wind blows out, you got to score early and you got to score often, and you can never let up.
And this is down the left field line, and that's going to be extra bases. Coughlin will get to it, and it'll be a double for Morse.
And he beat the curveball. Nice at bat. Well, the orange and red seats from Candlestick Park are now on sale for $749 a pair. You can go to sfgiants.com/candlestick memories, and you can get one of these chairs. Also, there are some Candlestick Park legends that will sign these seats. Willie Mays, Joe Montana, Mays and McCovey, Montana and Dwight Clark, McCovey and Will Clark, and others. That's right. Go to sfgiants.com/candlestick memories. Very cool.
Here's Panik. Panik knocked in a run with a solid single to left in the first. And he takes a strike.
Jackson starting to get the knee-high location with that fastball. That was 94, two-seam movement running away from Panik in that outside corner. Nice block.
If I have a dislocated pinky finger, and social media, there's no secrets, right?
Yep.
If I'm Panik, I'm thinking at some point they're going to try to bust me in. Not hit me in the hand, but at least pitch you inside, where it's not going to be a whole lot of fun if you didn't make solid contact.
I mean, he's got the broken pinky finger on his top hand, his glove hand.
Into right field for Sweeney. Morris is going to challenge, and Morris is going to make it. Didn't think he had a shot, but a nice job.
That is a nice job. I thought he was bluffing.
I did too.
Well, you see Sweeney, who's got the best arm of anybody in that Cubs outfield. And it wasn't even close. I mean, Morris has average speed at best here. That's a big 90 feet. That's going to change everything. How Jackson's going to pitch to Ishikawa, how they're going to play him in the infield. Nice play.
Like a ground ball to second. So here's Ishikawa, who doubled down the left field line to knock in a pair of runs in the first. Okay. Swing and a miss. Pitch down and in. The Cubs will play the infield in. And a shot down the right field line, and Ishikawa's got another extra base hit. He will dig for two. Coming in to score is Morris, and it's 5-2.
Right
so far, have a night.
Indeed. Two doubles for Ishikawa, one down the left field line, the other one down the right field line. And the Giants are wearing out Edwin Jackson's breaking ball. That was right there, middle in it, or at the knees rather, middle back. It's more on the inside corner. He just went and raked it.
Here's Susak, who struck out in the first. Susak getting the chance tonight to catch Jake Peavy.
Still no home runs in his young career, but this guy's got plenty of power. Hit 10 home runs at Fresno, AAA level this year.
Taps this one foul. Catching Lincecum, catching Peavy. Not bad for a kid that started out in AAA. Put that on your resume.
Oh, young catchers do too.
Skies this one to right. Sweeney back. It is out of here. And that's his first one. And it's a two-run home run. And Andrew Susak, enjoy this trot around the bases.
Well, I got to hand it to him. He didn't even break into a grin. But he will now once he gets back in that dugout. And your first big league homer is going one the opposite way. And that really is a sign of power at this level when you can flip them out the opposite way, even on a night when the wind blows out of Wrigley.
Hey, 30 years from now, the wind will be blowing in.
That's right.
Here's Crawford, and he takes high. Look, I thought it was a fly ball to right. Well, it was. It just happened to go over the fence.
Edwin Jackson thinking the same thing.
At this rate, it may not be the last one we'll see tonight.
They set up in the inside corner. It comes away. You see Baker reaching across. It's belt high outside corner, and he just flips it out.
Crawford ropes one into the gap. Sweeney will cut it off, but Crawford's going to go, and he's going to make it. Another 4-hit inning for the Giants.
Again, let's take a look at Susak. Really let the ball get in deep. Looks like he hits his ball off his right hip. And it jumped.
Giants fan almost had it. No smile?
Oh, yeah. He was all smiles once he got close to that bat rack. Teammates telling him you just joined a very special club.
There it is.
That's the one you look for. Because from a rookie boy, and that is as genuine a smile as you're going to get. That's a big league homer.
Here's Peavy. 7-2 Giants. So the Giants have not only got those runs back, they've added. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1.
Giants with 8 hits, 5 of them are extra base hits.
Strike to Peavy. Did Hutchins just say I still got more than you do?
I think he did.
Peavy strikes out. Nah, he would not say that.
Well, a pitcher will try and hold bragging rights on a young kid for a while, but all in good fun.
And here comes Rick Renteria. Has he seen enough, you think?
Yes, he has.
But it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change tune-up and brake experts. We'll be back. 3 runs on the board here in the 3rd inning. It's 7-5. There's your new pitcher.
Carlos Villanueva, new pitcher for the Cubs. He's their swing man. He's made 5 starts. This will be his 36th game that he's been in this year. 5-6 with a 4.87 ERA. Good strikeout walk ratio. He's not going to blow you away with a lot of velocity. He's high 80s, low 90s with some pretty good sink. He will cut the ball, curveball, slider, changeup. Gives you the basic 4. And this is really when you need a guy like Villanueva, when you have an early exit from a starter.
Here's Pagan. Pagan is 1 for 2. And he lifts this one to left, but it's right at Coughlin, and that'll end the inning. So Villanueva comes in with 1 pitch, and the Giants are going to come up with 3 runs here in the 3rd, and 2 on the home run by Andrew Susak, and it's bye-bye baby. As we head to the bottom of the 3rd, it's 7-2 Giants.
Area is brought to you by PG&E. See our progress in your town at pge.com/crprogress.
Javier Baez is the hitter. Giants with a 7-2 lead here in the bottom of the 3rd. A lot of pitches, a lot of runs in this game, and we're still in the 3rd inning. Baez takes a strike. He hit into a double play in the 1st. This is part of the big future of the Chicago Cubs. Javier Baez, and they got a bunch more coming. He lines this one to left and a base hit. And that'll bring up Rizzo.
Well, really, in 1 pitch, you get an idea as to why the Cubs think this guy's going to be pretty special. That was a first pitch slider in the outside corner at the knees, and he hooks it into left field.
Well, I have a feeling that these Cubs right-handed hitters keep pulling that slider away. Mr. Peavy's going to start coming in.
You're right. I mean, if they're pulling that pitch, they got lean that way.
Rizzo popped up to panic down the right field line. And Peavy will step off and chase Javier Baez back. Left side of the diamond playing Rizzo to pull. And he shoots it foul. He's got a bit of an uppercut. Time for our Togo's big play, the Togo's way. Last night against Vogelsong, he hit one out of Wrigley Field, and it was his 29th of the season.
Well, after that swing of the bat, we thought it was going to be a 9-7 ball game, but that was it. That was all it scored.
Now the Giants will put the overshift on. That means that Crawford's going to have to turn a double play if it's hit to Sandoval. And this is hooked on the right field line, foul.
Time now for our AT&T U-verse Rewind. Well, actually, this is the home run spray chart from Anthony Rizzo. And you can see where he hits the home runs. It's right field, dead pull hitter. He's looking to yank. 29 homers in his breakout season.
And the fastball is high. It's 1-2.
You look at the way Rizzo's built. He doesn't have long arms. He's a tall guy, 6'3". But he's short armed and he's built for the inside corner. Plants right on top of the plate, slightly open stance.
Ishikawa trapped it. They got one. Sandoval to Peavy. Got him. Well, the Panda said he can play short. And right there, it looked like he's right. You might want to send a tape of that to the guy that played short a long time. But first, before we go on, it's Renteria's coming out.
Well, how many 3-5-1 double plays do you see?
Not many.
It's not close. He got him. I guess the question is to whether or not Peavy was there in time with his foot, but I don't think there's an issue. There's the sidestep and a good arm from Sandoval, who comes right back. Now looking at that angle, I'm not sure if his heel got the bag, and that's going to be what is questioned. Now they got him.
Well, Boyna takes high. So Sandoval will, I'm sure, let Omar Vizquel know about this.
Well, one good Venezuelan to another. Ooh, it's close. I didn't see that angle.
I don't believe they did.
How many 3-5-1 double plays do you see?
That's the first one. They're saying in the history of the game.
I'm going with that.
This pop-up is lifted on the roof.
One more look. If Peavy touched the base in time, no. Well, you really, and the heel kind of comes back.
This is where you're just glad that base runner doesn't step on your foot.
Well, that's when you break your ankle. That's what happened to Tim Hudson last year.
Well, Giants have that play down pat, and Ishikawa is the target right now. Fourth inning coming up, 7-2 Giants.
time now for our AT&T U-verse rewind. We go back to July 29, 2003. Remember a guy by the name of Barry Bonds? Taking batting practice one windy day here at Wrigley Field, hit it across the street and broke the window. And that's not down the line, folks. That's right center. Yep. His batting practice was the best we've ever seen. And that was our AT&T U-verse rewind. And there is the window. The tree has got a little taller.
Glenn Kuiper was doing, the sideline stuff. Remember that day he walked out there and he did a hit from out there. And he looked really small from where we're at.
It's a long ways away.
Here's Hunter Pence. We should remember that before Glenn became quite a star with the A's, he was with us first.
Exactly right.
And a strike to Pence. Pat Hughes, Ron Coomer, the WGN radio guys, center field. Pat on the left, the San Jose kid. He's got to look a little happier than that. You know what? I wish we could send him some Candlestick Park wind and cold. What do you think?
Yeah, they could use a little of that. Pat sat up in that Candlestick ballpark a few times in his youth.
Yes, he did. Good guy.
Oh, great guy. Isn't this the first time since he's been a broadcaster with the Cubs that he hasn't asked us to say hello to 27 relatives and friends?
You know what? I'm starting to think that maybe his relatives are over him.
Well, to everybody that ever knew Pat Hughes back in the Bay Area, he says hello.
Pence hits it high, hits it deep. It is out of here. And the Giants lead 8-2. And that's home run number 17 for Hunter Pence. Did he reach for this, Mike?
I don't think he got all of it. Kind of out towards the end of the bat. Just a back spinner with lots of carry on a hot night here at Wrigley. That's all it takes.
Here's Pablo Sandoval. You know what happens with the Panda when guys start knocking him out of the park?
Oh yeah, he swings harder.
He does.
He wants to join the party.
He's like, he really feels like it's necessary that he has to do the same thing.
So the numbers that Pence has had against Valbuena, or Villanueva rather, he owns it.
Sandoval picked up an RBI and a sacrifice fly in the first.
Remember Matt Williams used to say, coming here to Wrigley Field would screw your swing up. That was what he said early in his career. And then later on he said, no, I think it fixes your swing.
Well, now what happens was, in those days there weren't that many Wrigley Fields. I'm talking about good parks to hit in. Now there's a lot of them.
I think this ballpark now ranks as the 16th liveliest ballpark in all of the 30 big league ballparks. And back in previous generations, it was always top two. See Hunter Pence talking over, and Matt Duffy right next to him, taking it all in.
Hit into left center field. Nobody's going to get it. This is going to bounce up into the ivy and out, and Pablo Sandoval's got a double. Somebody found the hitting shoes today.
Well, you never know how adversity can affect a club. You get shut out, they hadn't been really clicking offensively, and then last night they have an incident that basically united the whole clubhouse. And boy, I mean, they've really played on that energy today. But a nice opposite field at bat from Sandoval.
Here's Morris. He scored twice. And he looks at a ball down low. One ball and no strikes. Panic on deck. When you played here, what do you think the ratio was? Wind blowing out, wind blowing in?
You know, it's about 50-50. I mean, if you talk to hitters, they'll tell you, it's 80-20 blowing in. Pitchers will tell you it's 80-20 going out. So it's about 50-50.
Swing and a miss.
I do know one thing. When you would get close to this ballpark, I mean, the first thing you looked at were those flags. And if you were pitching and you knew you had flags out like that, I mean, it affected the way you pitched. You had to really establish inside. That was your friend. Mistakes middle away and up, unforgiving.
On the ground sharply to Baez, who will throw out Morris. That's out number 1. And that'll bring up Panic.
But, you know, as lively as a windy day blowing out, and it will often inflate your ERA when the wind blows in and it's coming out of the northeast. I mean, it's a great day to pitch. You don't even need to throw breaking balls. Let guys hit their best bullets, not going anywhere. And that's when your ERA gets better.
Here's Panic. And Panic takes the first pitch down low. When you talk about teams catching a break, you don't ever know what type of a break it's going to be. And on Sunday, with Joe Panic's injury, they caught a break. They caught a break where there was no ligament damage, not a bone break. And it's hard to imagine that, given that a player suffers an injury, that you catch a break, and they did.
Especially in the hand. Bones are so small and fragile.
It's 2-0 to Panic.
Good changeup with a 2-0 count for Villanueva. Villanueva, a former Giants product. He left the Giants organization to go to Milwaukee in a trade, if you remember, that brought the left-hander Wayne Franklin to the Giants.
Panic tardy. It's 2-2. I like Wayne Franklin. He's a good guy.
Villanueva now in his 8th year at the big league level. $30 years of age. He's had a nice career.
Here's the 2-2 to Panic, and Panic stays alive. This was the injury we're talking about. He had to slide through Jimmy Rollins, and it may have threw him off a little bit.
See the little finger just catch the bag and bend back, and that caused a dislocation. Now he finished the inning, as Tim Flannery immediately said, dislocated. They went in, and after the game, Dr. Akazuki was able to put it back in place. And there was no ligament damage, no break, and that was the good fortune.
It's always nice to have Doc Ock around, isn't it?
Yes, indeed.
I mean, he'll do that. He makes donations to the Fantasy Football League. It's great. He just donates.
Dr. Ken Akazuki on this trip, I might add.
Yes, he is. Two and two. Maybe playable for Valbuena, and it looks like it is. So Panic is retired. And here's Ishikawa, who's having a night. 2 doubles, 3 RBIs. He scored a run.
Well, and 2 impressive doubles too. One down the left field line, a bullet. One down the right field line, a bullet.
He very proudly owns a 2010 World Series ring. Here he takes a strike.
She remembers.
Yes, she does.
Keeping score?
I don't believe this is the first night she's kept score.
Oh, no.
No balls and 1 strike.
In a way, we can give you a lot of different types of movement. Tries to run that one little cutter in on the hands, flat, which is where you're supposed to put it. Great pitch from a right-handed pitcher to a left-handed hitter. Just a little subtle movement, but it's flat. Have to get the bat head on if you can plant it at the belt.
Well, it looks like a pretty good pitch, but it misses. It's 2 balls and a strike.
He could decide as to who he wants to pitch to here with an open base and 2 outs. Do you want to face the veteran who's got 2 doubles with an open base, who's hitting from the left side, or do you want to take on the rookie who hits from the right side?
Ishikawa rolls it foul. Rizzo hugging the line.
Oh yeah, kid gets it.
Two and 2 to Ishikawa. And the pitch. On the ground. Valbuena up and throwing. Got him. And that'll end the inning. Hunter Pence hits his 17th. It goes into the bleachers and left. It's bye-bye baby. And it's 8-2 Giants.
By authority of the San Francisco Giants. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
Well, the Rockies are in town next week, and the series is full of special events. Tuesday, August 26th is Bruce Lee night. All special event ticket buyers receive a collector's edition Bruce Lee Giants figurine. And on Wednesday, the 27th, it's Irish night. Join the pregame Irish Heritage Night Party and receive a commemorative Irish Giants cap. Go to sfgiants.com/special events and check it out.
So here's Sweeney. Sweeney lined out to Ishikawa in the second. And there's a fastball on the inside corner, 0-2. Alcantara's on deck, and then Valleca. Check swing, fair ball. So for Sweeney, who stops as he's looking at Eric Hinsky, the first base coach, like, yo, dude, can you help me out here?
That's a funny game. You think back to Sweeney's last at bat with a runner at third base. Nobody out. He hit a bullet to Ishikawa. Hang with him here. Check swing, 0-2 swing. Boop, double, or single rather. Thought it was going to be a double. And that's not the kind of hit that you're going to replay in your Christmas recap video. But he'll take it.
Here's Alcantara, struck out in the second. And he takes a strike. Peavy throwing the kitchen sink at this kid. Sandoval in at third. He still is convinced that Alcantara might try to lay down a bunt.
Well, down by 6 runs. Cubs looking for base runners. Would not be a bad play. He'd be bunt for a base hit. Peavy's got the magic pitch for him.
He does.
Alcantara, and that's that curveball. He's not picking it up at all. Yep, just throw it again.
And this one's down low, 2-2. One of the games being played tonight, the Orioles are playing here in Chicago, playing the White Sox. Peavy at the belt. Hit on the ground to Ishikawa, juggles it. Crawford for one, and no throw. Alcantara with good speed. Valleca hit his first home run of the year. Kind of reached out and just jerked it into the seats.
There's a runner at third base. Nobody out at the start of the inning. Here was one strike away from pitching through that runner at third, and boom. Look at the lower body lean out, and yet still had enough in his hands to pop it out of here. It really gave warning as to what type of at it was going to be for the hitters. Nevertheless, I mean, great at bat for Valleca, his first home run of the year. But that one kind of messed with the mind of Peavy.
I think it did. Bounces this one to Crawford. Crawford to Panic. Panic to Ishikawa. And they got him. So nice turn by Panic. We will head to the fifth. 1966. And on that date, the Giants beat the Braves at the Stick. Gaylord Perry got the win, 20th of the season. How about that, in August? Perry ended his career with 5 seasons of 20 wins or more, and 1966 was the first of those years. Big G, we called him. Big G.
Big G. He was big.
Gaylord finished that year with 21 wins. There you see the line score here at Wrigley Field. This is a really great scoreboard, manually operated, and they're going to make a ton of changes, spend a lot of money, and I hope that doesn't go away.
I don't think they'll ever mess with the scoreboard here at Wrigley.
Here's Susac. I was talking about U.S. Cellular Field as the White Sox are playing, right?
Yep.
And I think it'd only be appropriate tonight that a storm would blow right over that ballpark and rain for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And this would be very dry here, like it happened last night, except in reverse. They did not see a drop of rain at all during the rain delay we had here. And I'm sure there are some folks over there that might have thought that that was quite humorous, maybe like Hawk or Stoney.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure a lot of people in Los Angeles appreciated the misery that was here.
Absolutely.
Hey, it's that time of year.
Susac hit an opposite field home run in the third, his first. He pops this one up. And Rizzo looked at the catcher Baker and then recovered in time to make the catch. It really is his ball, so the right guy caught it.
Well, it's his ball because that ball's coming his way. The ball is going away from the catcher. There's a last look in here. It almost becomes an I got it, you take it. There's the look. And he winds up using that big gold glove and flags it down. But for a second there, Susac thought he was going to get another chance.
Crawford doubled in the third inning. Here he swings and misses. And no balls and 1 strike. Part of the problem last night with the rain was it caught everybody off guard. And they knew it might sprinkle a little bit. What the grounds crew and people in charge of this park didn't know that it was going to come down hard for about 15 minutes. And that's what caught everybody by surprise.
And we mean hard. It was really.
It was going sideways for a while. There's a high fastball, 1 and 2. And then, of course, we had the tarp issue, and it just turned out to be a really long night. It was over 4.5 hours of just sitting. High to Crawford, 2 and 2. Peavy's on deck. And Crawford's gone.
That's a good breaking ball right there.
This is what we're talking about. This is when the grounds crew got a little bit of a late start, and part of the problem we found out later, you see the kind of the wrinkles. It was really put away in a way where it was really hard to untangle once they rolled it all out, and this is where they couldn't stretch it. So part of the issue with the tarp was when they rolled it up before the game, it wasn't done right. Seeing as how now officially you and I are experts on tarps.
Well, this came from Joe Torre today, so there was sufficient cause to believe there was a malfunction of a mechanical field device under control of the home club within the meaning of official rule, baseball rule 412. And this is out of the rule book, this first quote. The Cubs' inability to deploy the tarp appropriately was caused by the failure to properly wrap and spool the tarp after its last use. As a result, the groundskeeping crew was unable to properly deploy the tarp. And
so the mechanical part of that is the cylinder that it's in, the metal cylinder.
Apparently, but that was the one word that we felt at the time may not allow them to protest, but accordingly it has been approved.
Bottom of the fifth coming up. It'll be Baker to lead things off. Oh well.
SNBA fan photo, your full name and hometown for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Here's Paul Lucchese and family from Petaluma. And they are repping P-Town and Chi-Town with our Aimer the Gamer t-shirts. Go ho, Giants. And that's a lot of good attitude. Well, we haven't seen anybody that lives in P-Town that doesn't have good attitude. And that is your AT&T fan photo.
Here's John Baker.
Yep, a lot of Giants fans here in attendance. There are tons that did not leave the ballpark in last night's ball game. They surrounded the Giants dugout. The Giants were having fun with them, and the 4.5 hour wait, everybody was waiting patiently. Angel Pagan came out with bubble gum. Pablo Sandoval was out in front of the dugout entertaining, trying to stay positive. Good pitch.
And called a little low, 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's my wife Jennifer.
My wife Jennifer.
With my goddaughter Maggie Roach.
And that's pulled on the ground, foul.
Maggie Roach, one of Wisconsin's finest from Madison, Wisconsin. With her boyfriend Adam.
Well, that's fine. You can go on about Maggie, but Jennifer, one of Southern California's finest.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm pretty proud of her.
Got him.
See ya.
Mike was talking about Pablo Sandoval last night, and if Pablo gets bored, then he's going to have to do something that's going to make him laugh.
And Matt Duffy, wrong place, wrong time. Selfies with the crowd.
Yeah, he tied up the security guard. If there is ever a reason for Major League Baseball, the umpires, to call the game after 2 hours, it would be to keep Pablo from doing something that would get him in trouble.
I mean, can you imagine what type of little kid he was?
Oh, my goodness.
I bet he never sat down.
Tapped, and it'll kick foul.
I think Villanueva's got to get the bat donor off that bat. A little tardy in that swing.
Chris Coughlin is on deck. Peavy gets the strikeout, his 4th. And that'll bring up Coughlin. The Dodgers and Rockies, or make that Padres, will start a little later. That'll be Stultz against Hernandez. That starts in about 15 minutes. And that's off the shin guard of Susak.
He'd be standing in that inside corner with the breaker balls against Coughlin. I mean, up until this game, they had met 6 times, and Coughlin had had 3 hits. Well, the veteran pitcher, I mean, you'll find a guy's hot spots and his cold spots, and that's what he's pitching to. But he thinks he has a little bit of an advantage on that inside corner.
Well, he had a pitch there to hit, and he fouled it back. Giants 8, Cubs 2. We're in the 5th inning on a warm night. It was 84 degrees first pitch. And another one up around the letters of Coughlin. It stays at 0-2. Peavy now, the next pitch will be number 70. And look, that's really not an issue at AT&T Park, but in this weather, you got to keep an eye on it. And that pitch is down low. Hunter Wendelstedt, who had a long night last night, says no swing. Got him. And this time, Peavy wins the battle. And we will head to the 6th. It's 8-2 Giants. teams and 2014 players. Get the retro 2-button style baseball game that you have been missing. Visit RBIGame.com for more details and download today on your console and mobile device. Here it's 8-2 Giants. Dave Fleming's back. It's nice to have him back. Back from the Little League World Series. Came back today. You see with his partner John Miller, Lee Jones in the background. It's great to see him.
Yeah, it really is. We got a good scout report about the Little League World Series too.
Dave's got some names for Brian Sabian.
We did ask him.
And I think one of them's a female.
Indeed.
Here's Pagan, who takes a fastball high.
He said, who are the teams that impressed you the most? He said, well, Nevada, Japan, and Illinois.
Pagan fouls it back. One of the problems over in the radio booth, and I know this firsthand because I was attacked last night, and I do not have arachnophobia, but I do now. I was attacked by a large family and friends of spiders, and right now Dave is being attacked as well. And when we told him, and we had no idea that Dave was not that fond of spiders, and he is in the attack mode as we speak.
Yeah, he does not do spiders.
Pagan takes high. I had one kind of float into my collar.
Well, you know, once you have one drop on your neck,
that's it, because you start to feel like there's 1,000 of them.
You're going to imagine the rest.
Pagan lifts one high and foul down the right field line and out of play. And and it was really funny. So we're telling Dave about it, and he's going, nah, yeah, no, yeah. So anyway, we walk in the booth to do our Crook and Kite show on the radio side, and while we're doing it, one falls into your collar.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy about that either. That's all Dave needed to see. He hadn't blinked since.
Look at, he's not even watching the field. 3-2 pitch. Foul back. But it is Wrigley Field, and it may be that these spiders figure that they belong here more than we do.
This ballpark's been around a long time. 100 years.
John seems a bit unaffected, although he wasn't that thrilled with him.
Well, John definitely happy Dave is back from his assignment.
Pagan out in front of and lifts his pop-up. Vallejo will backpedal and put it away. Here's Hunter Pence, 2 for 3, hit a home run in the 4th. And the first pitch is down low. Pence got the barrel out on a pitch up and lifted it into the bleachers and left.
Looked like a changeup that just kind of hung out there at the belt. He does not need to catch all of it to get it out of here.
The 2-0 to Pence, and Pence takes low 3-0. Oh, yeah.
Yep, Hunter Pence likes gamer babes from Concord, as a matter of fact. We knew that.
He specifically mentioned that to us today.
Yep.
Pence taking all the way.
The Hunter Pence signs have really kind of taken on a life of their own. And there was a group out in right field in the bleachers that had made a bunch of signs, but they didn't have enough game to show them all to Hunter Pence. So they left, but they set their signs up before they left, and there was about 20 of them.
And stayed there during the whole delay.
Yep.
Pence rolls it foul. Not a whole lot of levity last night, but that was some of it. Sandoval watching from the on-deck circle. Got him. 3-0 to a strikeout. So nice comeback. All right, time to log on to csnbayarea.com and decide the player of the game. The winner will be revealed during Giants postgame live. Check out the action on the diamond like never before with enhanced Bloomberg stats and more. Giants in-game live on csnbayarea.com. Log on now and vote. Here's Sandoval. And the Panda takes a call strike. This is the 6th inning on a warm night. On the ground, it's Baez, and that'll end the inning. 9 straight recorded for Villanueva. 8-2 Giants.
Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by Heffernan Insurance Brokers, offering business and personal insurance, employee benefits, and financial services. Visit us at hefins.com and by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
Here at Wrigley Field, it's an 8-2 lead for the Giants. Peavy struck out the side in the 5th. Here in the 6th, he's going to get the beef. Baez, Rizzo, Valbuena.
It's a big inning for Peavy. Time you face the hard here, I don't care how many runs your lead is, it becomes a big inning. Cubs look at it that way too.
And tight.
Look out. The one thing you don't want to do on a day like this is offer free passes, no walks, no hit batsmen. And defensively, no errors.
High pop-up foul down the right field line, and Ishikawa is going to run out of room.
Not Baez. You look at his swing. He is not afraid to buggy whip and let it go. That's a lot of swing. I mean, a buggy whip, pointing that barrel head at the pitcher, then dropping it back into his slot. And you better have some strong hands if you're going to have that much whip.
Well, it'll also make guys that got a little bit of a fastball to think that they can get in on him.
Shades of Dick Allen. But he's strong. Strong set of hands.
Two and two. Pops this one up to right field. Pence, plenty of time to get underneath it, and he'll make the catch. My brother Jeff and I got in a cab on Monday coming from the train station, and elderly gentleman picked us up. He had a Willie Mays jersey on. He had no idea who we were. And we got in a cab, and we asked him why the Mays jersey, and he said, well, the Giants are in town, and he was the best player that I ever saw play. He's probably 70 years old. And the reason I bring this up is it turned out he was a big White Sox fan. His favorite player of all time?
Dick Allen. You bet. People in Philadelphia saying the same thing.
And he had some good years here with the White Sox. I think he was here for 3 years. And you talk about a guy that could hit. Two-0 pitch to Rizzo is a fastball belt high.
It was a big deal for me to pitch against him in a spring training game when I was with the Cubs and he was with the A's. And I think he was number 60, but he had the name of Wampum over his number. he definitely had his own way of doing things. But the buggy whip and the hand strength, I mean, even late in his career, it was cut above everybody. Very much like Willie Mays' hand strength, cut above everybody. To this day, you shake hands with Willie Mays, it's impressive.
And a call strike. It's 2-2. Richie Allen at the Coliseum in Oakland on an afternoon game hit me a pop-up, and it's one of the few times I was actually afraid on the field. I never saw it, and if it had hit me in the head, it would have killed me.
A little height on it.
Overshift on. The 2-2 pitch is hit the other way, and Morris is going to have to play it on a hop.
Nice at bat from Rizzo. Here's the guy who's had ownage on Peavy. I mean, I'm talking about all the at-bats he's had prior to tonight. Tonight he's got a 1 for 2 with the triple. So we know that Albuena sees him well.
A triple and a line drive to Ishikawa, and a bouncing ball to Ishikawa foul. Turned out to be a nice play to watch that didn't count, and it's no balls and 1 strike. No balls and a strike with 1 out. Swing and a miss. Nothing in 2.
You see him go right back up there again. Susac sees the hole above the hands of the inside corner. That is a weakness with Valbuena. He's got a little lift in his swing, a slight uppercut. And he, like a lot of guys, has got a little hole there. He's backed off the plate. He may be looking for it. So when guys step out of the box and step in. He's made an adjustment here. He's backed off just a little bit.
Peavy with 83 pitches. He has weaved in and out of trouble. He's had the benefit of 3 double plays in this game. And this is a shot into center field, and Pagan's going to have to play it on a bounce. So back-to-back singles here in the 6th.
Ownage is ownage, and that's an 0-2 base hit on a slider in the outside corner. Peavy upset. Sent the target away, and this is right to the glove, perhaps even a bit outside. Valbuena, who sees him well, proved it again.
And you know what? They're diving.
Well, I think he's upset that he didn't go back inside. He got the 1 strike above the hands.
Sweeney had a hit taken away from him on a line drive to Ishikawa, and then he had a check swing single down the left field line. Pagan with room in center field. And that'll bring up Alcantara. Alcantara tonight, he struck out and he's rolled out to Ishikawa. Call strike, and it's 0-1. Alcantara steps out. Rizzo at second, Valbuena at first. High.
Pitch count at 88, and that has been a concern for the Giants. They kind of figure Peavy right around 85 starts to lose a little bit and starts to elevate. They'll keep an eye on him, but this is a big opportunity for the Cubs here. With 2 outs and 2 out, down 6.
And a strike.
Nice location with that breaking ball going backside.
Swing and a foul into the glove of Susac, and that is going to end the inning. 7th inning coming up. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Peavy and Jackson. Jackson left early. Peavy's still in. Ishikawa, he's had a good night. Susak, his first major league home run. It went to the opposite field. And some other Giants having some good nights as well. Those just a few of the highlights. 8-2, the Giants are leading. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change tune-up and brake experts.
New pitcher now for the Cubs will be Wesley Wright, the only left-hander in their bullpen. Take a look at his year. Specialist in 47 games, he's amassed 37 innings, 28 strikeouts. And for Wesley Wright, you're going to see a fastball that it's got some pretty good velocity on it, but with movement. It's low 90s. He'll sink, he'll cut it. He's got a curveball, slider, and a changeup. 4 looks for a reliever from the left side, which makes him rare. Former starter in the minor leagues.
And he opens up the at-bat to Morse with a called strike. This is tap foul, so it's 0-2.
Hey, remember Wesley Wright when he first came up with the Houston Astros in 2008?
Yeah.
Their organization for a long time. Last year they traded him over to Tampa Bay. He finished out the season there, and the Cubs got him in the offseason.
Just inside, 1-2. Little pop-up. Rizzo giving chase. It's in the Giants bullpen. And some of the Giants will take a hike as Rizzo comes flying through.
Juan Gutierrez not messing around. He's out. That's the fastest he's moved all year. Look out, Juan.
Plus he hurdled a chair.
He still almost got hit in the ear. I mean, that was an ugly finder.
Oh my word. There he is. Well, we know now that he can move when he wants to.
Yeah. Impressive.
Got him. High fastball.
Boy, right above the hands. Let's take a look at the 5-yard high hurdles. That's a new Olympic event, and he's got it down.
It's a couple of big fellas running stride for stride.
Chalking up.
Here's Panic. Joe Panic 1 for 3. Giants had a 4-run first inning. Panic was a part of that. And he takes a strike.
Yep, she loves her Giants. Boy, do they have great seats. Yep, great seats. You can hear the burps right down there. That's close.
Panic takes low and away.
We were talking about Panic earlier. We kind of never finished the thought about getting jammed with a sore hand. The dislocated finger on his top hand, his left hand, glove hand, and his defensive glove. But you've had hand injuries. I mean, doesn't that kind of take the wind out of your sails if you get jammed with a sore finger or thumb?
Absolutely. Think about it with every swing. And a base hit to right field. You also think about it at night. You think about it in the on-deck circle. Well, the Brewers are going to be in town next weekend, the 29th, 30th, and 31st. The Saturday game, the 30th, the 6:05 start, and the first 20,000 fans, they're going to receive an orange and black top hat courtesy of State Farm. Sunday is Star Wars Day at 1:05 start. First 20,000 fans, they're going to get an R2-D2 Giants beanie. sfgiants.com/tickets. Here's Ishikawa. And a strike. You see Tom Ruschel from United, part of the ground transportation, ground coordinator. Good guy, Tom. And Kim Mallory, who really is in charge of getting us from point A to point B, and boy, do they take care of us. And if we thank them at all, we don't thank them enough.
Well, you're right, especially on a trip like this, deep in the season. Guys can get tired, but you get on that plane and they really take care of you. It's like coming home.
Tomorrow will be a late flight into Washington, D.C., and then they'll get us home on Sunday. Two balls and one strike. And a base hit for Ishikawa. His third of the game.
Second time he's gone opposite way. Not a bad approach against Wesley Wright or anybody really, but for a guy who hasn't had a lot of at bats and not a lot of starts, 3-hit night, much appreciated. Plus 3 hits could do wonders for your batting average.
Well, especially if you don't have a lot of at bats. Susak 1 for 3, a big home run in the third. Here he takes down low. Big chopper to third. Well, Boyna will throw out Susak, and Crawford's going to hit with runners at second and third. So 5-3 put out, and Crawford, who's 1 for 2, will step up.
I think you're rolling the dice here a little bit if you're Rick Renteria, the manager for the Cubs. Only because Brandon Crawford has hit lefties very well this year. You're down 6 runs in a ball game. You got a pitcher on deck. The fact that they're pitching it all to Crawford is a bit of a dice roll, even though it's lefty-lefty.
Well, right now Crawford's behind 0-2. Looking to pick up his 50th RBI of the season. And that fastball is wide. 1-2. Middle of August, you have a finish out strong, have a good September, you could end up with 65. It'd be a pretty good season RBI wise.
You bet it would.
Peavy's on deck.
If he's going to do it, he's going to have to do it in a 2-strike, 2-out situation.
Out of play.
can see right there with that swing, though, why he's got such good success against lefties this year. Crawford, one of the strongest front sides of all the Giants. I mean, he plants that front side and he covers that plate well. There's no give in that front shoulder against left-handed pitching. And that's the only way you're going to have success against lefty-lefty. If you got any bail at all, you're done. You're going to lose that outside corner.
So 1-2 now to Brandon Crawford. And a breaking ball, and he got him to end the inning. Giants pick up a couple of hits. They strand a pair. It remains 8-2 San Francisco. Jake Peavy goes back out with the Giants leading 8-2. See what Peavy's done today.
Well, 6 innings strong, 9 hits allowed, a couple of earned runs. The 2 earned runs came in the second inning with 2 outs and a 3-2 count to Chris Valaika. Hit his first big home run, or first home run of the season, and that really is, you can't even count that as a mistake. 6 strikeouts against no walks. He's been fantastic on a night in Chicago that favors the hitter.
Blanco replaces Morrison left, and it will be Valaika to lead things off. Valaika hit that home run Mike's talking about in the second, then hit into a double play in the fourth. Here he takes a strike. 30,633 here tonight on a warm and humid night.
Right off the mask of Andrew Susak. So, Toby Basner, the plate umpire, how you like the strike zone? First time we've seen him.
Yeah, nice.
He's done a good job.
But he did a good job.
And we've said that quite often this year with all the umpires we've seen.
Still doesn't shave.
Yeah, that'll come later.
Foul back.
Let him sit there in the squad for a 14-inning game. He'll be shaving in 2 days. But really, this year, the Major League Baseball increased the number of umpires by 8 when they now have 2 crews in New York that are basically watching games, handling instant replay. They rotate umpires through New York. And they had to bring up a lot of new guys, and we've seen a lot of new umpires, and we've been impressed with them. Ed Montague, who has a lot to do with the development of young umpires, lives in San Francisco, and we see quite a lot of Ed. We asked him, what do you tell these young guys? He says, simple. Look for strikes and have fun. And Toby Basner has done that.
And another foul out of play.
I mean, I don't know how much fun he's having. I imagine he's having a lot of fun behind the plate.
Well, no arguments, as you mentioned. No disagreements. I would consider that a fun night for an umpire.
Yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot of head shaking from a pitcher or a stank eye from a hitter. Saw a little disagreement in Anthony Rizzo's at bat, really on a pitch that was right there. I don't know. It wasn't one that Basner missed.
Got him. Strikeout number 7.
Once Jake Peavy ended the streak of 12 consecutive losses in his last start, it has taken the pressure off of his shoulders. He is having fun again. He's no longer thinking about the streak. He's thinking about the guy he's pitching to. And that's what streaks can do to you. They can cloud your brain, good and bad.
Well, yeah, it's the first thing everybody wants to talk about. Here's Baker, and Baker takes a strike. Baker lines one to left, so he's got his second hit off of Peavy. That's the 9th hit in the game for the Cubs. So Matt Caesar is going to hit. See, Caesar's only been here a short while. He's 0 for 4. Top of the order, Coughlin on deck. Swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike.
Caesar's got lots of speed. Had 30 bases stolen this year for Iowa. Cubs AAA clubs in Des Moines. Caesar hit 261. But the stolen base total, that's what jumps off the page when you're talking about his abilities.
And he fouls this one off the screen.
Take a look, pitches by inning, really the second inning when he threw 31. I mean, that's when he really got taxed. Gave up the 2 spot there. And after that, he's kind of been on cruise control through 101.
Pokes at this one and fouls it out of play. So pretty good battle going on right now. Maybe with 102 pitches. And he fouls another one. Peavy's looking up at the sky like, this guy's killing me.
Well, he is. I mean, when you're looking for your first big league hit, you're going to grind a little bit. And Caesar, a rook, looking for that golden moment when you get yourself a big league batting average.
Down low.
Spaghetti getting back on the horn, calling Mark Gardner up in the Giants bullpen. And you're starting to get some action now.
Outside, 2-2.
It looked like Susak got crossed up right there. Now, it's one thing to cross up a catcher with a breaking ball, but when you cross him up and he's looking to break a ball and you throw a fastball, you can hurt him. Watch the way he receives this. So a quick word with your pitcher to remind him it's the second sign. First sign after a 2. Whatever it is. A little verbal kick in the pants.
Got him. Caesar helping out Peavy. 8th strikeout for the veteran. And that'll bring up Coughlin. You see Juan Gutierrez getting loose. Coughlin 1 for 3 as he ropes this one foul right into the Giants bullpen, and that chased, I do believe, Mark Gardner out of Dodge and also FL. Maybe it hit Romo.
Look out! Just on the bottom of his left heel.
Dangerous down there.
Yeah, all of a sudden it is.
Javi Lopez now joins Gutierrez. Just outside, not by much. Padres scored 3 times against the Dodgers in the second inning.
Well, that's a good thing.
And they lead 3-0. 2-0. Peavy unhappy with himself. A little meeting. That's just a little meeting.
And it's every start.
He should see when he really gets ticked off.
I mean, he could have a 15-run lead. He's still going to have the same reaction after a pitch that he misses his location with badly. Look at it.
.110 pitches for Peavy.
Yeah, I think this is going to be his last hitter no matter what.
Panic. Side retired. Nice job, Jake Peavy. 8th inning coming up. It'll be the pitcher spot and then the top of the order. Sports Talk Live, presented by Comcast Business Class. And it's hosted by Elmer the Glue, Jim Kozimor, tonight at 9. And the guest tonight will be Tim Kawakami and the Bay Area sports guy, Steve Berman, and featherweight boxer Manuel Tino Avila. And that's all going to happen tonight. Sports Talk Live at 9, right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts.
Kyuji Fujikawa, the new pitcher now for the Cubs. Take a look at his season in 4 games. Off to a nice start. 4 base runners and 3 1/3. A couple of strikeouts against a couple of walks. Not a hard thrower. He throws low 90s. Got a little cut. Big curveball. Slider, split. So all of his specialty pitches have some downward movement, so he gets a lot of ground balls. Matt Caesar stays in the ball game. He's in left field.
And it's Adam Duvall to lead things off. And the first pitch is popped back and out of play.
Kyuji Fujikawa has exceptional command. I mean, that's his reputation. With 4 or 5 different types of movement.
And a strike to Duvall, rather than 2. And Duvall is going to be out.
So a 3-pitch see ya. If you're wondering why Fujikawa has such little experience this year, because he's just coming back from Tommy John surgery. He was on the DL and took him 14 months to get back. Made 12 rehab appearances before he got the okay to get back to the big leagues.
Here's Pagan. Pagan 1 for 4. Out of play down the left field line. Pence to follow, and Pagan bounces this one maybe off the glove of the pitcher, and Pagan is thrown out by Baez. 2 outs. So Fujikawa gets the first 2 outs, and here's Pence. Hunter Pence, a couple of hits, 1 left the park.
Yeah, impressively. Didn't even get it all. Right over the top. Not an easy pickup. Fujikawa in Japan, he played for Hanshin. He's 42-25 with 219 saves in 12 years, and his ERA was 1.77. I mean, he earned the right to be here. He gets over to the States and then he breaks down with the elbow injury. But you can see his stuff is good. A lot of movement and great command. 34 years old. In his 2nd year at the big league level. Although I got to ask him about the turtleneck on a night like tonight.
Yeah, I don't know.
it is a night if you're pitching, and you're a starting pitcher like Jake Peavy, you go 7 innings, throw over 100 pitches, you're going to lose 5 pounds. But baseball players will tell you it's great baseball weather. Easy to get loose, easy to get a feel of the ball, and here in Wrigley with the wind blowing out, the ball will travel.
Penn strikes out to end the inning. Bottom of the 8th is coming up. And we'll see a new pitcher. Remember, the Giants and Cubs are going to finish the game started last night. So pregame live is going to start at 1:30, and the resumption of that game is going to start at 2 o'clock back in the Bay Area. And it'll be the Cubs coming up in the bottom of the 5th inning. And then at the completion of that game, it'll be on our regular schedule, 4:30 pregame live, and first pitch will be right around the top of the hour. So busy day tomorrow, and you'll see it all here right on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. We'll be here, and if we're here, we want you here. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and brake experts.
New pitcher now for the Giants will be Juan Gutierrez. 53rd time that he's come in. 1-2 with a 3.02 ERA. 56 base runners allowed from Gutierrez and 53 2/3. He's been fantastic. Rare that a guy from the right side will do better against lefties than righties, but that has been the case this year. 36 strikeouts against 9 walks. Mid-90s fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. Go get him.
And here's Javier Baez. And Baez takes a called strike. Ishikawa now in left field. Blanco goes from left to center. And Duvall, who pinch hit for Peavy, is now at first. Hit off the end of the bat. Out to Crawford or Ishikawa. It's going to be Ishikawa who puts it away.
Well, you put a first baseman out in the outfield and the ball will find you. And he had a little smile on the play. Oh, yeah. That was easy. I could play the outfield. Think you're playing with kids?
Here's Rizzo. Rizzo with a base hit in the 6th inning. Cubs have 10 hits. Peavy's line, 7 innings, 10 hits, 2 runs, no walks. Pretty impressive. 8 strikeouts. Rizzo takes low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Giants scoring 8 runs today without Buster Posey.
Buster bothered with a hip. Popped up. Sandoval at the shortstop position. 2 out. Well, tune in to the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KNBR. You can do that tomorrow morning. I'll talk about the game with Murph and Mac on KNBR 680, the sports leader. Murph's been out.
Week of vacation.
So it's been Paulie Mack doing a little bit of extra work in overtime. Valbuena's got a couple of hits. And the pitch is a called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. I may play Stump the radio talk show host tomorrow with Paulie Mack.
How are you going to do that?
I don't know. I haven't come up with. I'll just quiz him about the game. See how close he watched it. And the 1-1, and Valbuena takes just outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, ask him how many hits Buster Posey had.
Start out with that one, and then if he misses that one, then I'm just going to stop.
Well.
Hit to deep right. Pence back. Gone. And Valbuena with his 11th of the year and his 3rd hit of the game, and it's 8-3.
He came into this game hitting .237, and we talk about the good ownage that he's had on Jake Peavy. Well, Rick Renteria, the skipper for the Cubs, he put him in the 4 spot. And what's he do? He responds with a 3-for-4 night, 3 legs of the cycle, and here, this is 11th home run of the year. Gets a fastball challenge and just says, "Thank you."
So here's Sweeney. Sweeney's 1 for 3. Outside to Sweeney.
Cubs had to scramble for a cleanup hitter today when Starlin Castro had to leave the team because of a family emergency. And that bumped up Valbuena in the 4 spot. And boy, I think he likes that slot.
And a strike to Sweeney. No word on who will start that game, that first game tomorrow, the completion game.
I would imagine it's going to be Yusmeiro Petit for the Giants.
I would think so too. That's out of play in the seats.
The reason I say that with such confidence is the Giants were going to have him pitch in last night's ball game when they were going to start it up after midnight. But having said that, there's always the likelihood that the Giants will bring up another player tomorrow who could pitch in that slot or actually start the second game. So we'll see.
And the pitch is high, so it's 2-2. Scheduled to start the second game for the Giants will be Tim Hudson. Check that. Madison Bumgarner.
Well, he's going to start that second game. So if they do bring up another arm, they may put him in the pen, or they may start him in that extended first game.
Slowly hit, and it kicks fair, and that'll end the inning. That went like fair and then foul, fair and then foul like 3 times. 8-3 Giants. Ninth inning coming up.
The player of the game, and tonight that player would be Travis Ishikawa. 3-hit night, a couple of doubles early in the game, one down the left field line. That was a bullet. That would knock in some runs. And then he goes to right field in his next at bat. That would knock in some runs. He threw in a third hit in the 7th inning, and he also played a little left field. He's our Honda player of the game, Travis Ishikawa.
Nice.
Let's go with Ish.
Started a really nice double play in the 3rd. Very much the player of the game. And a lot of choices tonight. Here's Sandoval to lead things off.
Well, you're right. Jake Peavy certainly was a candidate for player of the game. He was fantastic.
Dr. Pence is a home run and a single.
Joe Panic with a couple of knocks tonight.
Yeah. Giants started out well. They scored 4 in the 1st. And that's a strike at the knees. Blanco on deck. Sandoval down the left field line, foul.
A lot of you young catchers out there, you always wonder what makes a good target for a major league pitcher. And you watch John Baker, who's been a defensive specialist for a long time, had a great reputation coming out of Cal, and he's as good a target as there is. Just a good low target, sets his feet wide, very solid. See a high target here because he wants a higher fastball.
And Sandoval's going to flip one to left, and he's got a hit. That's the Panda's 2nd hit in the game. So here's Blanco. Giants now with 13 hits. Arias is going to run. Bruce Bochy's starting to get guys out tonight early, knowing that it's going to be a longer day tomorrow than usual.
Well, what a bonus to get 7 innings out of your starter in tonight's ball game.
Yep.
That really sets your bullpen up. Cubs can't make that claim.
Blanco lifts this one to left on the first pitch.
Giants knocked out Edwin Jackson, the Cubs starter, with 2 outs in the 3rd inning, and that not only affects tonight, but it affects tomorrow too. Two-hit night for Joe Panik. Has shown no ill effects with his dislocated left finger, or his little finger on his left hand.
And a strike.
1 of 5 left fingers.
Unless you're Ronnie Lott.
It's true.
And then you have like 4.5.
But lots of respect.
Panik, little flare to left. He's got a base hit. And that's his 3rd of the game.
He's not hitting hangers either. He get a good pitch there. And this against a guy he doesn't know anything about. That's what gets the Giants excited about this young hitter, is that he's doing it against guys that he doesn't know. Boy, stays down nice. Watch the head stay very still through the swing. Stay down. I mean, that was anything but a hanger. That was movement down, working away from Panik, knee-high outside corner, and flips it to left field.
So now with the injury to that left pinky, we see another Giants player wear the mitt.
Yeah, you could play ping pong with that thing.
Here's Ishikawa, who takes low.
Not good if you're trying to pick up a dime, mind you, but
No.
good at protecting your hand if you're sliding.
Ishikawa looking for his 4th hit. And he drives one to left. But Coughlin's going to backpedal and put it away. 2 out. And that'll bring up Andrew Susak. Three night games in Chicago. How about that?
I've never seen it.
It's a first for us, that's for sure.
We also found out that the Cubs scheduled 40 night games this year. 40. And they could have as many as 43. That's the agreement they have with the neighborhood. I mean, think about this. They didn't even used to have lights. Every game was a day game here. Cubs put the lights up back in the late 80s, and things all of a sudden have changed. Now they're up to 40 games on the schedule at night.
By the way, I believe I said Coughlin made that catch. It's Caesar who is now in left field.
He looks a lot like Coughlin, I got to tell you.
Thanks, partner. One ball and one strike. One and two. The growth of Andrew Susak comes in games played and catching guys like Jake Peavy. That's where you get your growth.
Well, you're right. And you're calling a game. You're suggesting a game to a veteran like Peavy, to a veteran like Hudson, because they're going to throw their own games.
And I guess what happens, Mike, is then you have to kind of get in a rhythm with the veteran.
Well, what veterans like too is they like to work quick, and that involves a catcher getting a sign down that they agree with quickly. And that's the pressure of being a young catcher. You want that guy to keep going. You you do not want to affect his rhythm in a negative way. And there's a lot of pressure to get that finger down that guys like. And he did a great job with Peavy tonight.
Look out.
You know, of all the attributes we ever talk about Buster Posey, I mean, that was one of the things early on that we saw about him that was so impressive. A young catcher catching an older pitcher, and guys weren't shaking him off. I mean, he just kept putting down signs that guy liked. He kept their rhythm going. And those are things you look for in young catchers, and you see it here with Andrew Susac as well. That's how you win a staff over as a young catcher.
High to Susac, 3-2.
Like all these old pitchers, like Peavy, he's got 5 signs, 5 things he can throw, and he'll throw any one at any time. And a lot of times you'll put down a sign, no, I don't want to throw it. You put down that, no, I don't want to throw it. Put it in that, no, I don't want to throw it. Well, you're messing with his rhythm. You put something down, boom, he agrees with you and goes. That feeds his rhythm.
Full count to Susac. Sure about that one, but that'll end the inning. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Giants on top 8-3.
Post-game live right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. They'll go into the Giants clubhouse for reaction about this one. They'll update the Padres and the Dodgers going toe-to-toe in LA tonight, and they'll check in with the Niners and the Raiders and give you some updated camp reports. All that and more. Sportsnet Central tonight, right after Giants post-game live.
Giants with an 8-3 lead. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts.
Gene Machi, the new pitcher now for Bruce Bochy, 6-1 on the year with a 1.56 ERA. Machi, a 3-pitch guy. Low to mid-90s fastball, slider, and a fork ball. And guys with fork balls pitching into the wind, like we've had through most of the night, although the wind has calmed down here than from what we saw earlier in the game. If you're throwing into a wind, it's going to enhance the look of that fork ball. It'll make it bigger. It'll make the sinker bigger.
And the first pitch, a call strike. Arias now at third for Sandoval. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Alcantara is 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts. It's a strike, 1 and 2.
That's the fork ball right there. So, as much as pitchers dislike throwing into a wind, it can help you with more stuff, more movement, especially for a specialty pitch like the fork ball.
Got him.
See ya.
It's a hat trick for the kid. Here's Valleca. Yeah, I think Dad's got his hands full.
Oh, yeah, he's a veteran.
Oh, wait a minute. No. Come on.
He's got to get it started.
Are you kidding?
There you go.
Look at, see?
There he goes, Dad. I don't
Can't
do
believe-
vodka in the bottle.
Yeah, really? Valleca hit a home run in the second. Bottom of the ninth. Star Wars night. And Stormtrooper seems to be getting all the action out there.
They usually do.
Not only good looking, but funny too. Hit on the ground to Crawford. Off balance throw. Perfect.
Yeah, those Stormtroopers are sneaky.
So here's John Baker.
Couple tweaks, good to go.
And the first pitch is wide.
Think about Baker. I mean, he gets in there. He really puts both eyes on the ball. Wide open stance.
Swing and a miss.
You hit with an open stance late in your career. Did you always hit with an open stance?
No, it started out closed, and then the older I got, the more it opened up. I just thought I could hit that inside pitch a lot better as you open up a little bit. And plus, you got to look for it. Started out as a tall hitter, ended up as a short hitter. Started out as a fast runner, ended up as a slow runner. Started out with some power, then didn't have any at all. There's Arias, and this is the ball game. So the Giants, with the good news today that they'll get a chance to refinish the game from yesterday, they come out smoking. And they do it by scoring early and then helping Jake Peavy with some nice defense.
And we talked about adversity late in the year, how it can bring a group together, and offensively they absolutely came together tonight. And Jake Peavy was stellar, 7 strong, and Giants take game 1.
14 hits for the